وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه المنتجبين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى قيام يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Before we commence with the brief talk, can we recite Surah Fatiha for a Marida who is extremely unwell, for her well-being and well-being of all our unwell, sick people and relatives. Al-Fatiha. As we bid farewell one by one to our colleagues and those that have been close to us or we have known, we of course come to terms with the fact that we too are on our way, and it will not be long before we bid each other farewell. One of us will lay to rest the other and pray for them. And we come to terms with our mortality, with our going on. And then we also realize that once we have gone, we have nothing but good words to say about each other. And in fact, that actually gestures the fact that we are good people. We may have flaws, we may have come with predispositions of different kinds that might irritate others or may not sit well with others. But overall, we are good people, and our soul recognizes that. When we bid somebody farewell, immediately the negative memories start to begin to become effaced, and nothing but good remains of that person. This in itself signals that the one who has endowed our human hearts with such compassion and ability to forget the flaws of others, he himself constantly forgets our flaws. And he sees nothing but good in us and remembers only good about us. It's actually the nature of God that we have deep within our chests, and we cannot do otherwise. Imagine how merciful, kind, benevolent our God must be. We have all heard these ahadith, and I just want to say one or two things. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the angels, do not transcribe the flaws of my creature, for he may repent. And he stalls them until it is time to change them, and new angels come, and they do not know about the sins committed prior to their coming. And that is the nature of our God. He is a beautiful God. Think about it carefully. If deep inside we ask our hearts, what is my God and who is my God? The heart begins to melt. At that time, there remains nothing but the beauty of the Divine One. He is phenomenally beautiful. He is nothing but kindness unending. If only we could spend some more time within ourselves reflecting upon God. But before that, when we see people in our lives and when we say goodbye to them, we realize one thing, that the time that we spent with them was a time bestowed upon us by God to get to know them, to interact with them, and then to cherish their memories. Each one of them came as a gift from God. They were gifts for us, and we are gifts for them. They came to teach us something, and we were teaching them something as we learned. We learn about ourselves through the other. When others do things, we react. That teaches a lot about ourselves. And they were placed there to evoke those emotions and reactions. Through them is our growth, and through us was their growth. And when we all meet again, it will be in beautiful circumstances. Although I know that the Quran says on that day that a man shall flee from his parents and his siblings and his spouse. But apart from the spouse, I don't think we will be fleeing from each other. That was uncalled for, so salawat. The other hadith literature paints a very much more dignified picture of a human. The Prophet says there are those on the day of Qiyamah who will forgive, who will not want retribution. And then there are those on the day of Qiyamah who, due to the excess of their good deeds, will distribute their good deeds and give them to others so that they may be saved. So there is a state of nobility within us, and we should take pride in that. And we should have confidence about our nobility. We are not evil creatures, we are good people. Now, why is death so frightful? Why is it so frightening? We can't deny that death, the thought of death, doesn't sit well with us, right? There are so many complexities within our minds. But the bottom line is, in all of these complexities, it is our fear. Our fear brings in all these complexities at the very deep level. And the fear, in actual fact, is rooted in loss. And the greatest loss is the loss of life. And that yields fear deep within, and we can't deny that. We, at times, mellow it down by convincing ourselves that God is good, that death will not be bad. But we know it's sugarcoating the reality. We know deep down we are not ready to go. And that is our human nature. We want to live. But why are we so afraid? Have we ever thought of that? We give all these wonderful examples that if you have been away from home and you're going back home after a lengthy period of time being away, and your parents are waiting for you, would you feel fear going back? Let us say we have done many wrong things prior to running away from home. But now, such a long time has elapsed that our mother and our father are actually cursing themselves for not forgiving us instantaneously at that point when we did wrong. And now they are suffering at our separation. Not only will the mother have effaced all her memories of our negativity, she has been praying constantly to Allah, send my child back. You know that? She has been waiting, searching, looking for us. She is ready to breathe her last. She just wants to see us, embrace us, with eyes filled with tears, thanking Allah. And then when she sees us, she will say, did you have no confidence on me? That you had to torture me like this? That I would not forgive you? So when we know that this is our state, and we know that God is the one that fills the soul of the parent with parental love, how compassionate our God must be, then why do we not have confidence to go to God? Why? There is Hussein. He's smiling with serenity and calm. Do you not see? Look at him. His close circle was with him, the outer circle of his devoted followers. Do you not see him? Look at how fearless he is. Look at how calm he is. Look at the serenity upon him. Look at the state of contentment. The raging blades perturb him not. The showers of arrow Frighten him not. He heard this. He said, "O people, my grandfather has said, death is a bridge from this world to our Lord. Why would anyone not be pleased with crossing that bridge?" Look at him where he was. The reason why we fear death so much and it doesn't sit well with us. And even though we don't like death, that is not bad, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor us all, and I'll inshallah explain why if Allah inspires me in a little while. But the reason why we don't like death is, as opposed to our mothers, we don't know our God. That companionship with God has not built. We haven't recognized Him. And how can we recognize Him? When we have spent no solitude, lonely time with Him. How can we get to know Him when we have totally disregarded Him? It's a formal prayer that we do that means nothing. After 60 years of prayers, well, I'm 60, so maybe 40 years of prayers or 50 years of prayers, if my heart still pains at people not acknowledging me, then what God have I found in those prayers? If after 60 years I'm still worried about my sustenance of tomorrow, then what God have I found? When I was in the womb of my mother, did the wealth of this world feed me? When I was crawling, did the watchful eyes of those around me save me, or was it God looking after me? Who? It is because we don't know God. All we know are prostrations and bowing. Who do we prostrate to and who are we bowing to? God doesn't need any of this. And of all, what worth is the recitation of the Quran if the heart does not emerge in the light of God? Of what value are those fasts after which the hearts don't pain at the hunger of the human community? Of what value are those prostrations if after that there is fear of the creatures of God? What point is there in saying La ilaha illallah when this head is bowed in front of one and all? You see, we have not known God. We haven't acquired intimacy with God. By Allah, if I say my God is the best of planners, then why should I even pray to Him to remove any misfortune from me? Doesn't that make sense? Then I will only pray to Allah to remove misfortunes as a courtesy. Because, oh Allah, you are worthy that I should ask of you. But not because I do not like your decree. How is our state when one says He is the King of all kings, the parent of all parents, the best of planners, and then I say, oh Allah, do this instead of what you have chosen? Does that make sense to anyone? You see, the bottom line is we need to spend time with Allah. We need to begin to know Allah. Allah is not known through these formal prayers unless the heart is given away to Him in those prayers. And when the heart is given away to Him in those prayers, then the whole existence becomes a prayer. We are afraid of what will happen to us inside the grave, aren't we? And of course, we Maulanas do a good job of frightening one and all. And we do such a good job that I frightened myself of the grave. You can imagine how effective we must be. Qiyamah is not going to be simple, it's going to be difficult. The Blessed Prophet used to make two prayers constantly. Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. O the one who turns hearts, make firm my heart upon your faith. The other prayer he used to make was, O Allah, save me from the chastisement of the grave. So these are real things. The hereafter is frightening, I know. The day in which young children will become old due to the intensity and the severity of it. The day in which people will flee from each other. لِكُلِّ إِمْرِئٍ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِيهِ. For everyone will have a score to settle with another. I know it's not easy. But are we going to be there alone? Really? Me and you think that our deeds will take us on that day? What deeds? What deeds? The Prophet said, I do not count upon my good deeds to offer me salvation. It will be nothing but the mercy of God. If the Blessed One Himself says that. You see, the darkness of the grave is real. The frightful events of the grave are real. The loneliness of the grave is real. But the only way these threats can be mitigated is when we invite the light of God within the grave. The only way loneliness can be put to bay is when we have a companion that never leaves our side. The only time Qiyamah can be handled is when we have our Allah by our side. That is the one who matters, and that is the one that is missing. He is the one who matters, and He is the one who is missing. Our notion is, I will pray to Allah, and over there I will stand before Allah. I'll say, oh Allah, oh Allah, I can't stand before you. Who am I to stand before you? Oh, the one that cannot be encompassed by the heavens and the earth and multitudes of heavens and the earth, how may I stand in front of you? The heaven is a reflection of your beauty, and the hell is a ray of your rage. Where is a place in which you are not, O God, that I may face you and stand with you and in front of you? No, O my Lord. If I stand on that day, then I want to stand next to you. If I am questioned, then I want you to assist me in the response. If you're going to pass a decisive judgment against me, then I want you to intercede on my behalf. If I'm going to be flung inside hell, then I want you to accompany me and make it bearable for me, for I deserve it. I do not argue. The case is decisive against me, but I want you by my side, for I have not known you, not known other than you. How we have misunderstood God, honestly. Switch off the lights, get acquainted with the darkness, and sit with Allah until the darkness becomes a comfortable place, and until darkness becomes brighter than light and shines brilliantly through the companionship of God. Go into solitude and loneliness and find Allah as that companion. When you find Him, you will realize, or the likes of me can never realize, as Rumi says, silence is louder than words. And loneliness is the biggest sense of companionship with God. Hide away in the prostration so that none may see us. And we are so much immersed in the love of the beloved that we do not want anyone to gaze upon us and ruin that moment. For a soul who finds Allah at that level, the angel of death does not take that soul away to another place. That soul is with Allah as it breathes. That soul is with Allah as it ceases to breathe. And that soul is with Allah when the body is laid to rest. When was he of the body that he needs to be associated with the living and the dying body? He was always for the one. So the secret is for us to find our God, to truly find Him from within. What is finding of God? What does it mean, though? You see, when we go out of this world, we are not going to take anything with us, and you know that. Whatever we eat, we give back. This is from the earth. منها خلقناكم وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى. From it we have created you, to it we will cause you to return, and from it we will raise you once again. Nothing of this earth comes with us. What will we take? You say we will take namaz and roza and hajj and zakat and Quran with us, but they have all been performed in a bodily manner. If they've all been performed with a bodily manner, then they rot away with the body. It's like a person at the university saying, I will take back all these books with me when I finish my education. What will these books do? What you become through these books makes you eligible. We're taking ourselves back, nothing else. Make that self a beautiful self. And that self cannot become beautiful unless it immerses itself in Allah. And what does immersion in Allah mean? To say Allah, Allah, Allah? To become like Allah. The greatest tribute to God, and the greatest devotion to God, and the greatest thanksgiving to God is to become the image of God. Isn't it? Do we like God to forgive us? Then become like God and forgive each other. Do we want God to efface our memories that are unfavorable from the minds of others? Then do not talk ill of each other. Efface negative memories. Do we want God to give us the benefit of the doubt? You know what sort of God we have? Well, it's embarrassing, to be honest with you. You know, you stand before God and you say to Him, I've become so spoilt by you. This was a dua of Imam Zainul Abidin, but we find this in our own lives. I have become so spoilt by you. You have taken such good care of me that now I've lost fear of retribution. Because I know any feeble excuse that I make, you will accept. Then why can't I accept the feeble excuses of my brothers and my sisters? Oh Lord, you are charitable, make me charitable. Oh Lord, allow this heart not to love this world or anything other than you. If it's taken away, let it be taken away. If you send enemies, then they are your gifts to me to awaken my weaknesses within me so that I may overcome them. The time that remains for us on the face of this earth is a time for us to think deeply and reflect deeply into ourselves and find that companion. The most miserable state to die in is one in which we don't want to die. You know that? The unworthy state is in which we beg each other to pray for each other, although it's a good habit. Pray for each other, it's good. But the best way to go is to say, oh Allah, I had nothing but you, I have nothing but you, and I will have nothing but you. You know what my state is. I have been ashamed of the world, but I do not want to be ashamed of you. You are my God, my companion, my friend. You know everything about me. Let me have this pride when I come to you that I say to Allah, oh Allah, I have not hidden anything from you. I have been in front of you as I have been in my authentic being. Become that transparent with God. Find God deep inside. And let us try and become godly and godlike. Breathe our last, bid each other farewell with happy hearts, and look forward to meeting each other once again, although I don't know how many people will be looking forward to see me there, but we will meet there. I'm sure they'll be happy there as well. Look at Hussein Salamullah alayhi. How beautiful a godly soul he is. You know, no disrespect and all appreciation for the Blessed Prophet and Imam Ali. But I have not seen one who has been traumatized more than Hussein. I haven't. And the way he is refined and the way he emerges in his godliness is unimaginable. The way he is evolving on that day of tribulations. It's not easy to lose your youthful son. It is very difficult. And especially losing him to a wounded chest and a dagger implanted therein. And for him to say, "Oh child, Allah has taken you away so soon to spare you the grief and the trials of life." Thanking Allah instead. It is not easy to see your Abbas going to face death. In fact, this was possibly one of the most unbearable scenes on the day of Ashura, that when he understood that it is inevitable for Abbas to go, he looked deep into the eyes of Abbas, and his eyes filled with tears. And he said, "May my life be given for you, O Abbas." And as Abbas went, he rode behind Abbas so that his brother may not escape his sight. It was very, very difficult for Hussein. And the way he cried at Abbas's body brought tears to the enemies. And then what can be said of the trial that he faced when the very tender throat of Asghar was slit from ear to ear? And the way he trembles. And how can we express how he took that little body back to his mother? The griefs surmount. But possibly one of the greatest griefs for him was as he left the tent and the women fell at his feet. And he prayed, "O Allah, let them not lose their lives in my grief." But this is Hussein on the banks of the Euphrates or Al-Qama. As he scoops water, they say, "Hussein, as you partake in the cold water of the Euphrates, your tents are being looted." He emerges like a raging lion. "O Shimmer, call back your man, for I am still alive. Kill me first, and then advance to them." Shimmer said, "Retreat. Put him to death first." Do you know who Hussein was? Do you know how many times he mounted attacks and he came back? Do you know how many times he fell down and stood again? Why do you refuse to die, O Hussein? Taste the blade and be free of this life. Do you know why? Because he knows that so long as he breathes, his Zainab will remain safe. This is Hussein. He refuses to die, not for himself, but for those that he is leaving behind. And this is the greatest grief upon the chest of Hussein. And we see Shimmer placing his knee upon his blessed chest. And we see the knife drawing closer to his thirsty neck. and we see his glance turning towards the hill as he hears a cry, is there no one who will save Abu Abdullah? And he gestures to her, oh sister, retreat. As she retreats, she is calling out, oh Hussein, call on to me, so I know that you are still alive. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. إلهي إنا نسألك بحق الحسين وجده وأبيه وأمه وأخيه وتسعة المعصومين من ذريته وبنيه، اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. I know those that our deceased leave behind are filled with pain, and I know their going has not been easy. But this pain that we feel is a form of purification. And if through gathering in their name we become a little bit better, then it is a gift for them, and Allah increases them in their light. And if it consoles the grief, then know that if we have loved them so much, then the one with whom they belong, imagine how much more he loves them. So do not be worried about their fate. They have gone to the beloved. Allah will keep them well, and we are soon to join them, if that eases the pain and the burden. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة.